We talk a lot on Dateable about being present in dating, but let's be real. That's hard when your phone is basically a third wheel. Enter Brick. Brick is a simple device that helps you put your phone down when you actually want to be in the moment. You just pair your phone to Brick and it locks you out of distracting apps, and suddenly you're not doom scrolling while your date is telling a story about their childhood dog. Whether you're on a first date, having a real conversation, or just trying to stop checking your phone every 30 seconds, Brick creates boundaries with your tech without asking you to delete everything or go full digital detox. Dating is about connection, not notifications. So if you want to be more present and honestly more attractive, check out Brick. Go to getbrick.app/dateable to get 10% off. That's getbrick.app/dateable to get 10% off. Getting dressed should not be this hard, but somehow it is. And that's why I love Armoire, because Armoire makes getting dressed easy with a clothing rental membership that helps you build the perfect wardrobe with high quality, unique brands picked just for you. You just take a quick 5-minute style quiz, choose from your personalized closet, and your pieces show up at your door in as little as 2 days. I've been using Armoire a lot when I travel, and I'm heading to the East Coast soon. And instead of buying coats and sweaters I'll never wear in LA, I rented the cutest ones through Armoire. And the hot tip is I get them delivered to the hotel, so I don't have to carry them in my luggage. It's also my favorite way to test new styles without committing or cluttering my closet. I love that I always have something new to wear without the decision fatigue and without feeling guilty about wearing something once. Right now, Dateable listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 60% off their first month. That's up to $150 off. Just visit armoire.style/dateable. That's ARMOIRE.style/DATEABLE to get up to 60% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today.
Has dating gotten harder in the last 10 years, or has it just gotten noisier? This was something we talked about at length during our 10-year anniversary episode of Dateable, and it had me thinking about this even more. So hello to everyone listening, Julie here with another Quickie. And to get into this, let's start with the all too common dating scenario. Should I text them back? And if you're anything like me, you've probably turned to your trusted council of love experts, aka the group chat, and immediately the opinions start rolling in. So no, absolutely not. We're not going to reward flaky behavior in 2026. This is from the friend who hasn't gone on a second date in the last year. My husband and I had a lot of misunderstandings at the beginning. Hear him out. From your happily, married friend who hasn't dated in a decade. Text him if you're bored, but wait at least 2 hours. From the emotionally detached, slightly toxic friend that you'd never take dating advice from. And then last but not least, you deserve better. Delete his number. Come over, we'll open a bottle of wine. From your ride or die bestie who just wants to retire together, Golden Girls style. And before you even have time to think, you probably do what we all do. You Google it, you scroll TikTok, you're hit with all these if they wanted to, they would videos from strangers with ring lights and very strong opinions. Because we're constantly looking for the silver bullet in dating. The perfect text, the perfect question, the perfect rule that guarantees that we're on the right path. But in a world with this many opinions about what we should or shouldn't do, it's getting harder to hear your own voice at all. And we say that we're looking for like certain traits in a partner, but like how much of that is what we think is actually right for us versus what society or our friends or our family have ingrained is important. So instead of asking, how did that date actually feel? We turn to, did I miss a red flag? And we start to Google 10 signs they're a narcissist. We're scanning for reasons to disqualify someone instead of checking in with ourselves. Let's be real, the internet thrives on negativity. We know that rage bait performs. So of course the stories you hear about how dating is terrible, men are the worst, women are impossible, the apps are a lost cause, like this is going to start to cloud your judgment and your opinions because of all this noise coming in. So yes, it does feel like dating has gotten harder, but I truly think that it's always been hard. It's just gotten a heck of a lot noisier and louder. And we're starting to crowdsource intuition instead of listening to our own, adopting to other people's beliefs instead of looking at our actual experiences. And I think this is because we've lost the skill of sitting with ourselves. Like, when is the last time that you've sat in silence? There's always music or Netflix or something going on in the background. We have this need with Google and now AI that we want to immediately get the answer the second any discomfort shows up. But the part that's ironic is that all of this advice doesn't actually move us forward. It freezes us. And with so many opinions and hot takes, we just end up in analysis paralysis because we're trying to avoid the wrong move and we don't move at all. So yes, a lot of the advice out there is technically right, but it doesn't mean that's right for you. And it definitely does not mean it's right for your specific situation. And we need to get ahead of this now and rebuild some of our own self-trust because it's only getting worse with AI. And I admit that there are times that I've gone straight to ChatGPT to flesh out an idea instead of sitting with my own thoughts first. And that is scary. Like, people are already going to AI for dating advice, and the more we rely on generic answers, the further we move away from our own context, our own experiences, our own truth. And at the core of this is that loss of self-trust. We believe that other people have the answers instead of us. And if there's one skill we need to reclaim in 2026 in dating and relationships and life, it's self-trust. Rules and black and white advice feel safer at times than nuance because you think if I follow this rule, then I can't mess up. But dating just isn't meant to be optimized for a 60-second clip on TikTok. It's meant to be felt. And through Dateable, we've heard over and over again, if I'd listened to my friends about not texting to confirm plans, we wouldn't be married today. Or if I stayed with the good on paper person, even though I knew my heart wasn't in it, then I would never have met the love of my life. So if they had listened to anyone else instead of themselves, they would have missed out on something incredible. And self-trust doesn't mean you're always right. It doesn't mean that you don't try to build emotional intelligence or relationship skills, but it means that it can't always stay theoretical. Self-trust is built on doing. You have to try, you have to fail, you have to recover. And through all that, it's learning not to abandon yourself when things go sideways. And no amount of content or reading or even listening to podcasts can replace that. Again, good life skills to build or relational skills to build, but no one else's experience can replace your own context. So instead of asking an influencer or your best friend what they think, ask yourself first. What do you want? What do you need clarity on? And sometimes that means asking the person that you're dating directly, which is a skill that we're all wildly out of practice with. We get so many questions at Dateable asking what someone meant or what we would do in a situation. And a lot of times the answer is we don't know. Because we're not the person, we're not in the situation. So instead of giving them a script, we teach them how to get clarity with themselves and the person involved. And it doesn't mean that you can never ask for advice again, but we really push people to check in with yourself first and the people involved first. So next time the noise starts creeping in, because it inevitably will in the world that we live in, how do we start to tune it down? Tune into what feels the most authentic to you, that's the most aligned with what you actually want. And maybe that means sending the text, not because TikTok said to, but because you want that clarity. Or maybe it means trying to make it work and trusting yourself to handle the outcome, whatever it is. There is no universally right action in dating, but the action that is most aligned with your truth is the right action. It's the one that puts you on the right path. And we're going to do an episode that goes way deeper on developing self-trust because, again, we truly believe this is such a missing skill, an important skill in dating. So if you're interested in going even deeper, make sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify if you aren't already. And if you haven't already, pick up our book, How to Be Dateable, which is rooted in this approach. So hope this helps. Hope it sheds the answer that maybe dating isn't harder and that's just the noise that we're hearing. And with that, that can be liberating to, go out there and feel confident that we have control. We can do what we want because we're following our own self-trust.